By the time I graduated from high school, I had attended 9 different schools. All that moving around caused a lot of isolation, feeling of being not belonging anywhere ever. I was very unsure of myself. The move in the middle of 4th grade from Chicago to outside of Atlanta was a really stressful move. It was so stressful that I ended up in the hospital physically sick. My white blood count was through the roof. I was doubled over in pain. I had a fever. They thought I had appendicitis or something. Something was going on. I was just happy not to be at school. So I went through a battery of tests, 3 days of tests, and they found nothing. However, after 3 days of not being at school, the pain went away. White cell count got down to where it was supposed to be, and the fever was gone. So I was released with a clean bill of physical health. No school, no stress, no sick. I went back to school, and the teacher asked me, would I like to come up and tell everyone where I'd been? Now, what the hell is a 10-year-old supposed to say in 1968 to their teacher? No, thank you? No, you didn't do that. Especially if you're the new kid who has barely said 2 words in the class, who is chubby, short, doesn't get picked for teams, and talks funny. You know, Chicago, Atlanta. I talked funny. So I got up, and I opened my mouth, and I told the story. And I was funny. I was funny. And they laughed. And they weren't laughing at me. They were laughing with me. I was in. I was a part, finally, of this group. So with every new school came the funny. Dragged it out, and I dug in really fast because God knows how long I'd be there. I didn't want to be there for too long without having some group to be a part of. I mean, I might go home from school that day and find out that we're moving again. So my funny came along. Right after high school, I had my first episode of depression. And my funny just didn't cut it anymore. It just didn't stand a chance against all that blackness. Right about that time, I discovered alcohol and recreational drugs. And I found out that I didn't have to feel funny to be funny. The drugs did that. The alcohol did that. And again, I was a part of something. Well, over the years, you know, I drank more and more, even while I was taking meds for my depression. Not a good idea, FYI. And my body and soul and brain were all at war with each other. So in June of 2011, I said uncle, and I went to my first AA meeting. And I haven't looked back since. In January of 2012, just around 6 months in, I went to my first party with friends with whom I used to party. Everything was going along, people were arriving, and all of a sudden, I was terrified. I ran upstairs and I told my friend, I have to go, I have to leave, I can't stay. And she said, are you afraid you're gonna drink? I said, no, that didn't even cross my mind. And I felt myself turn in on myself and shrink. And I was that 10-year-old again. I said, what if they don't like me? I don't know how to act. Well, she held me and tried to encourage me, but gave me space and gave me room to make my own decision. And I realized that if I left, I might not get the chance to share with myself and everyone else this new version of me, my true self, my sober self. So I stayed. And I wasn't alone in a room full of people. And for the first time, my funny joined me at the party. First time in a really long time. And we fit right in. You see, recovery is an action word. We have to dig in and dig out that person that we were meant to be. We have to peel back the layers and learn how to sit with the pain and the fear in that 10-year-old and let her know that she is loved and she is good enough and she has a place. It's taken me almost 7 years in recovery to be able to sit with that 10-year-old. It's the hardest thing I have ever done. But me and my funny, we're really glad we did it. Thank you.